All right, let's dive in. Forget everything you've heard about the far-off future of work. It's not coming, it's already here. And it's being driven by a totally new kind of AI called agentic AI. This stuff is fundamentally changing our jobs, our skills, and our workplaces right now. You see, by 2026, we're not just going to be using AI, we're going to be working with it, side by side. This is the beginning of the augmented workforce.
So, how in the world do we get our heads around this? Well, here's the plan. First, we're going to break down what makes this AI revolution so different from anything we've seen before. Then we'll get real and look at the hard numbers. What's the actual impact on jobs? From there, we'll explore what it looks like to collaborate in these new human-AI teams. After that, we'll tackle what might be the single most critical new skill, AI literacy. Then we'll ask, what does it even mean to lead in this new era? And finally, we'll zoom all the way out to see how this fits into the bigger picture for all of us.
Okay, let's get right into it. We've been hearing about robots and automation for decades, right? So why is this time really different? What makes this wave of AI a genuine revolution?
You know, this quote from the biologist E.O. Wilson just nails it. It perfectly captures the spot we're in. We are wielding this godlike technology, but we're trying to manage it with ancient Paleolithic emotions and outdated medieval institutions. And that gap, right there, between the power of our tech and our ability to adapt, that's the core challenge we're unpacking today.
So the engine driving all this change is what we're calling agentic AI. The best way to think about it is like this. Old AI was like a really smart power tool. You still had to hold it and guide it every step of the way. But agentic AI, it's more like a new colleague. You can give it a big picture goal, something like, hey, launch our next marketing campaign, and it can actually strategize, create the content, and even run the ads, all on its own.
And this slide really hits the nail on the head. We're not talking about an AI that's just a fancy coding assistant anymore. We're talking about an AI that's basically a full-stack developer on your team. It is a massive shift from a tool that helps to a collaborator that does. So what does that mean for the rest of us on the team?
All right, now that we kind of get the technology, let's talk numbers. What is the real-world impact of all this on the workforce, on actual people?
The World Economic Forum is basically sounding the alarm. They're saying by 2030, almost a quarter of all jobs will be fundamentally changed by AI. Now that is not a small tremor, that's a seismic event that's going to affect hundreds of millions of people around the world. I mean, think about it, that's more than the entire population of the United States.
But hang on, because the story isn't that simple. It's not all doom and gloom. While yes, millions of jobs will be disrupted, that same report says that even more new roles are going to be created. We're looking at a net gain of 78 million jobs. So the real story here isn't about the end of work, it's about a massive transformation of work.
And here is the economic reality that's driving this whole transformation. If you needed another reason to pay attention, it's right here in your paycheck. A recent study found that people with AI skills can earn up to 56% more than their colleagues in the exact same role. This isn't just about keeping your job, it's about a huge economic opportunity.
Okay, so we know AI is changing the job market in a big way. But what does this actually look like day to day? You know, when we clock in on Monday morning? How are we really going to work with these new AI colleagues? Let's dig into the new models for teamwork.
It looks like two main models are really starting to take shape. On one hand, you've got centaur teams. Think of a doctor using an AI to scan for tumors. The AI does the heavy lifting, flagging anything suspicious, but the human expert makes that final critical call. Then you have cyborg integration, which is way more seamless. Imagine being in a live negotiation and you have an AI partner literally whispering real-time analysis and counteroffers right in your ear.
This is such a profound change in what it means to be a professional. For an engineer, it's about going from being a builder, laying every brick, to being an architect, designing the whole system. And this isn't just for techies. For all of us, our value is shifting from doing the grunt work to directing the work. We're becoming the conductors of an AI-powered orchestra.
And here's the kicker for businesses. There is a massive competitive advantage here. Companies that really figure out these new ways of working are already seeing a 3 times productivity boost over their peers. The takeaway is pretty clear. It's not enough to just adopt AI. You have to create a true partnership where humans and machines make each other smarter.
But to actually get that 3x multiplier, you can't just install some new software. You have to build a brand new core capability across your entire organization.
And that new capability is something called AI literacy.
Now, listen, this is not about making everybody a data scientist. It's really a new kind of critical thinking. It's the ability to work with AI effectively, to question what it gives you, to understand its weaknesses, and ultimately, to be the human in the loop who's still in charge.
The really smart companies, they're moving way past just one-off training sessions. They're building this AI-literate culture from the ground up. It starts with a basic foundation for everyone, then it moves into actually applying AI in specific jobs to solve real problems. And finally, it gets all the way up to the strategic level, where leaders can properly govern these powerful systems and manage all the risks.
But let's be real for a minute. This is not easy. Not at all. It is a massive cultural change, and the roadblocks are very real. We're talking about everything from leaders not stepping up to deep-seated resistance from employees, all while the technology itself is changing at a breakneck speed.
So, with all these challenges, what does it actually take to lead? The old management playbook is basically being tossed out the window. It's time for a whole new set of rules.
You know, it's funny. As the AI takes over more of the analytical, routine work, our most human qualities are suddenly becoming our most valuable professional skills. The new hard skills are things like creativity, empathy, and ethical judgment. In a world full of artificial intelligence, our humanity becomes our biggest competitive advantage.
And this isn't just about individual jobs either. It's about the very structure of our companies. Gartner is predicting that AI will automate so many traditional management tasks, scheduling, reporting, you name it, that a huge chunk of middle management will just become obsolete. The message for managers is clear: evolve into a strategist and a coach, or risk getting automated away.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second and look at the really big picture here. Because this isn't just a business trend, it's a massive societal shift. And it is raising some of the most complicated questions we've ever had to face about risk, governance, and our future. I mean, just look at this timeline. It shows how fast the world is scrambling to play catch-up. Over in Europe, the AI Act is already rolling out strict new rules. Legally, we're bracing for a flood of lawsuits over AI-driven mistakes. And on the world stage, a new kind of arms race is heating up, with different countries racing to build their own national AI systems. So in this chaotic new environment, responsible AI is going from a nice-to-have to an absolute must-have. We're seeing this new focus on preserving human skills, on mandating human oversight, and on building trust through transparency. The lesson here is clear. We can only move as fast with this technology as we can build the guardrails to keep it safe. And so that brings us right back to where we started. AI isn't just a tool anymore, it's becoming a partner, a colleague, woven into the very fabric of our work and lives. We have created godlike technology, and now the only question left is whether we, with our Paleolithic emotions and medieval institutions, are ready for it. The challenge and the choice is ours.